Hi, it's Heather from Thicketworks, and today I want to share with you the process for creating these tiny royal crown ornaments. Each individual crown is created from 2 sheets of 8.5 by 11 65-pound cardstock. These were scored and cut on the Cricut Maker using Thicketworks Studio SVG files. This funny looking piece is actually the top of the crown, and it's been scored in strategic locations. This is the ornamental band for the crown. These large discs help stabilize the entire construction and allow you to hang it from your tree. And these little discs help with that as well. There are also lots of embellishments. You'll want to give some thought to the type of finish that you wish to create before you actually construct the crown. I wanted to try to recreate the look of aged and tarnished gold, so I stuck down all the pieces onto a scrap piece of cardboard using a spray adhesive. This will hold the pieces firmly in place so that I can apply metallic waxes onto the surface. I'm just using a sort of scrubbing motion to apply the metallic wax directly over the top of the black cardstock that I've chosen to work with. I'm using Astrobrights cardstock in Eclipse black. I really love this paper. Now I'm going to add a layer of vintage gold metallic wax. The interplay of rich metallic tones between the aged brass and the gold is going to give me a subtle and nuanced metallic surface. And once I'm satisfied with the amount of metallic wax, I just peel all of the pieces up off of the cardboard using a palette knife. Now that the basic surface treatment has been created, I can begin constructing the crown. Now, this has been designed to fit together with a minimum of adhesive, but it does require manipulating the paper a bit. So you want to draw it through your fingers using a firm but gentle motion until you've convinced the crown band into a soft curve. Next, let's glue these stabilizing discs together. Each one of them has a tiny hole in the center, and using a toothpick to help align them makes the job a lot easier. I'm just gluing together with straight PVA glue here. And I'll do the same thing for the set of smaller discs. Again, aligning them using a toothpick. Now I'm gluing the ends of the band together, making certain that the construction slots line up. It's time to add those 2 stabilizing discs to the underside of the top of the crown. Again, a toothpick helps keep everything aligned perfectly. This larger disc is inserted into the base of the crown. The tab goes through the bottommost slot from the interior and then weaves back out and in again. This will hold it very securely, even without any adhesive. A pair of tweezers is extremely helpful. There. Now it's time to take advantage of all of the scoring that was done on the Cricut Maker. Fold all of those tabs up and then begin to gently curve each of the arms of this radiating shape. Hold it firmly and be very careful not to rip the paper. Now, I'm beginning by inserting the first tab directly over the previous tab that secures the disc in the bottom. Once I've done that, I do the same on the opposite side and then just work my way around the entire circumference of the crown, weaving each of the tabs from the interior out and then back in again. I'm not using any adhesive here at all. And we'll be adding another stabilizing element before we're finished, keeping the need for any adhesives to an absolute minimum. I love that. Now I'm gently curving out the base of each of these radial arms. And to make it possible to both stabilize the shape and to hang the ornament from your tree or from anywhere you'd like, I'm inserting an eye pin and then creating a small loop in the other end of the wire. This loop holds the wire in place, and it also gives you the option to create a dangle that will be suspended from the bottom of the crown if you choose to do that. For these embellishment pieces, I decided I wanted to create some gentle curves using a large ball stylus and a piece of soft craft foam. And then it was time to begin embellishing. I went a little crazy with the rhinestones and the pearls, and I don't regret it for 1 minute. Now, these little frames are intended to go on these areas between each of the radial arms, creating more stability and more visual interest. I've decided to paint a contrasting color that will be revealed on the inside of each of these frames. For this, I'm just using a red acrylic craft paint. And to create a little more contrast, I'm edging these little frames using an oil-based paint pen. Tacky glue will hold each of these frames in place. There. So I just add one at each interval between each of the radial arms, creating a repeating pattern all the way around the circumference of the band. This, of course, creates more opportunities for embellishing. For this project, I glued all of the rhinestones and embellishments to the surface using gem tack. Now I'm using Fabri-Tac to attach these larger floral embellishments at intervals around the circumference at the base of the radial arms. There. Oh yeah, now we're starting to really create that over-the-top medieval look. These smaller floral forms are being curved so that they too can be glued at the base of the alternating radial arms. Well, that's a good start. Now, of course, you could leave it at this. But if you're anything like me, you're going to want to take advantage of that opportunity to have a dangle suspended from the base of your crown. This little pendant is going to hang at the bottom of mine. I experimented with a lot of different kinds of embellishments on these crowns, and these little pieces intended as manicure embellishments are some of my favorites. They come complete with what looks like a tiny bezel already attached. I just love that finished look. And then there are these little studs or nail head shapes, also intended for manicures, but perfect for this project. Creating layers and layers of varied textures and colors really brings these crowns to life. They're a beautiful shape on their own, and I really like them, but I really began to fall in love with them once the layers and layers of encrusting jewels were added. These little crowns could take on many different moods depending on the type of finish and embellishing that you choose to add to them. Keep it simple or go for simply resplendent. It's up to you. I enjoyed designing these tiny crowns so much, and putting them together was a blast, but of course the embellishing was the part that I enjoyed the most. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And until next time, bye.